This is the plaintiff, Abel Bonilla. He says he was hired to groom the defendant's 2 dogs. He was paid by check, and then comes to find out it was a closed account. This lady's playing games with him by telling him she would cash app him all the money she owes. It's been months, and he's done dealing with her. He's suing for $112, the amount he's still owed. This is the defendant, Janita Mathis. She says the plaintiff nipped her dog's ear, cutting her, and she doesn't feel he should be paid in full because he did a bad job. She paid him $50 because that's all she feels he deserves for the careless job, because she had to tend to her dog with medical care, and she shouldn't have to pay for that. She's accused of pooping out on a pet groomer. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $300 for medical supplies.
All parties, please get your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. The plaintiff says that he groomed the defendant's 2 dogs, and the woman paid with a bad check, so he wants his money. But the defendant says that the guy cut her dog's ear, so he deserves nothing. It's the case of I'll be doggone.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Mr. Bonilla, you and your company, City Pets Mobile Grooming Incorporated, is suing Ms. Mathis for $112 that you say she owes you and refuses to pay. You are counterclaiming $300 for vet visits and supplies, which you say is a direct result of the grooming. So let me hear from you first, Mr. Bonilla.
On November 1st, we were called out to groom both dogs.
Okay, and you have a mobile grooming service?
Correct.
So everything is in your van.
Correct.
You go to their house, and
Yes.
both dogs, what are the dogs are what kind of dogs?
Yorkies.
And what are the names of the dogs?
Beyonce 2.0 and Jay-Z.
Beyonce 2.0 and Jay-Z. And pray tell, why is Beyonce 2.0 named Beyonce 2.0?
Because my first Beyonce, she died 3 years ago. I had her 12 years.
So you got another dog, and you named that dog Beyonce.
Yeah, she can't have the original Beyonce name.
No, but now you don't actually call her Beyonce 2.0. You just say Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Yeah. All right, so you groom both dogs, and the fee is how much?
It was $75 per dog,
Okay.
and we did the grooming, and we got paid by check.
Okay. And do you normally get paid by check?
Check, cash, Zelle, credit card.
Okay, you should try to push Zelle whenever you can, because this is the kind of thing that happens. But in any event, you get paid by check, and how much do you get paid?
Well, we got paid a check of $150, and upon depositing the check, the bank returned the check, and I brought the letter here from the bank saying that the account was closed. And
It was a closed account?
Correct.
Okay, so what do you do?
I contacted Mrs. Mathis.
By text? By email?
No, by text.
By text. And you tell her what?
That the check came back as a closed account.
And her response is what?
That she's had 7 draws from that account.
They're wrong, that can't be, or whatever.
Correct.
All right, and then what does she say? That she'll replace the check?
No, she actually told me that she can cash app me.
Okay.
So
And so
I-
did you
I
give her your
happen to have
Cash
a-
App address?
I happen to have a cash app, so I told her, I gave her my
Now
cash app.
that means sending you the money digitally.
Correct.
Okay, so
I sent
did you
her-
give
I-
her the correct address?
I gave her the ID for the cash
ID
app.
for your Cash
Yes.
App,
And she sent me $50 initially and told me that by the next day I would have the balance.
Okay, and did you?
No.
So what'd you do?
So I contacted her again after a couple days, and she told me that she was busy and that no one dictates how she runs her life and whatnot. So I said, okay.
Well, what had you said to her that made her talk
I just told her that I did the service for her and I'd like to get paid.
She says, no one tells me when to pay or how. And,
Correct. So I waited
and yet
another-
she was supposed to have paid X time ago. Okay.
That's what she told me.
Right.
So I waited another couple days and I texted her again, reminding her of the payment that hadn't been received.
Right.
After maybe 4 days, she sends me a screenshot of a payment that she made, and I told her, I have no idea whose Cash App you sent it to, but it wasn't mine.
Did you send a $100 payment?
I sent it, but it was the wrong Cash App.
So did you lose that $100 or you got it back?
It was a while where I couldn't get it back then.
Oh, but then you got it back.
Yeah.
You did get it back eventually.
Yes.
Oh, so why aren't you paying him? What's
Well,
going on?
when he did the grooming, and it wasn't $75, it was $60 a piece. And
That's correct.
it was $120. I paid him $150 because I do tip my
yeah.
groomers because of my dogs.
I was going to say, wow, no tip at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beyonce and Jay-Z happen to be very good tippers. All right, go on.
So after that, Beyonce started fidgeting with her ears.
When?
Actually the next day. And my son, who basically takes care of Winton, he takes care of them more than I do, but he's like, something wrong with her ear, and I said, check it. I'm funny about that. I get scared when anything goes wrong with my dog because of my first Beyonce, because she died. I have her little ashes, and it bothers me when anything's wrong with my dogs. I'm serious about that. So when her ear, I told Leo and Winton, I said, check her ear. It's black stuff. All kind of stuff, and I
all
did.
This is when? The next day?
The same day, actually, she was
The
fidgeting
same
that
day
night.
that he groomed her.
Right.
And you called him immediately to say there's black stuff coming out of her ear.
Well, I told him she's fidgeting with her ear. Something's wrong.
How long after the grooming did you tell him she's fidgeting with her ear?
After about 3 days after.
Oh, but if it was, she had black stuff coming out of her ear the day of the grooming, why didn't you tell him?
She was fidgeting with her ears, but the stuff didn't start coming out to 3 days. He came back out.
Actually, according to the statement of, who is this?
My husband.
Okay,
Yeah.
your son's statement says a week later I noticed a cut. A week later. So how does nobody notice a cut in that week?
What do you mean, like, how did they notice? We don't just go in her ears.
Yeah, but if she's fidgeting, doesn't somebody, and enough that you bring it to people's attention, why wouldn't you look to see what's the problem?
She would just do this.
Right,
and I'm
but
like,
your son, you won't look at it, but your son looked at it.
Right.
Okay.
And he told me. He kind of.
So your first contact with him is when?
Kind of like a week later, when he said, "Ma, you need to take her to the vet," and I'm like, "Why?"
All right. So when you take her to the vet, what does the vet say?
No, I didn't take her yet. I called Abel.
Okay, and what did
Abel did come back out. He said, as a courtesy.
What did she call you and tell you?
Well, I don't recall ever going back out. And we never had a conversation other than text.
Okay. Now, she seems to recall, and she testifies, that you came back out and did what to the ears?
He came back as a courtesy, and he cleaned both Beyonce and Jay-Z ears and put eardrops in there.
We don't.
As a courtesy, he said, "I do
He
that
himself
for you."
or someone else?
You have somebody else in your company?
I don't do dog grooming, so yeah, it would be one of my groomers.
Oh, okay.
Then why
However,
did you say?
Well, how do you categorically say? Okay, so hold on. Is he who groomed your dog, or is someone else?
No, I don't even know
you're
this
the
man.
owner. All
I
right.
don't know
Well,
this
then, so then maybe this other person came as a courtesy and did that. You don't know.
it wouldn't have happened because I'm the one that does the scheduling. Okay, I know for a fact on this case we never went back
My
out.
husband let you in.
Let me
You're
finish.
Okay,
in
come
the
on
house.
up. Come on up, husband.
Let me finish.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, my name is Leo Mathis. I remember this guy at my house because
That guy. That guy's the owner, so you don't remember. You didn't start off really well. Okay.
It's fidgeting. But Abel, when I came home from work, I seen the truck in the yard with both of the dogs in the truck. He was cleaning his ears again, because he did it the first time, I looked in the ear, because I seen her doing like this here. I'm like,
Did you see a cut?
I didn't see a cut at that time. I looked in the ear, I seen black stuff coming in out of the ear.
So why didn't you guys take the dog to the vet right away?
No, actually, I'm gonna call him because
Why him?
I trust my groomers for years.
Okay, so who is it you speak to, Abel or the fellow who actually came?
Abel.
This is Abel.
Oh well, then I'm thinking
Who's the one?
the one who came out the house. That's who I thought was, because I never saw him.
So when he tells you that, did you stop payment on the check?
Actually, we only can do 7 withdrawals, and his was a 7. But I was sick during the time. I was real sick.
So you didn't stop payment. You said all over the answer to the complaint that you stopped payment because
Yeah, I called and told him don't honor that. Now that I did.
so you did stop
Yeah,
payment.
and then I gave him $50 because I feel, okay, you did come out to my house, but he could have just drove out to the house and
Okay,
got
but
the
then
little $112.
if you stop payment, why do I have you on text here saying, I am sending 50 now and I will send the 100 in the morning. I just transferred money. Why are you saying that?
Because after he did come back, or whoever this other person was that came out to put the drops in Beyonce as a courtesy, I say, okay, I'll pay. But when her ear clears up, I'll pay you the last $100. And then you're gonna send a process server to serve me. I'll make you sweat for them $100 since you could have just came out to my house.
Couldn't just what? What was he supposed to do? You said you were going to send 100 and you didn't. And then you said, I'll send it when I'm good and ready because nobody tells me how to run my... Right. So what did you think was going to happen once you said that? I mean,
no, but just like I told him, I told him that when her ear clears up,
okay, what evidence do you have that they did something, he or his employee did something to the dog's ear? Because the timing is kind of critical. I don't have, do you ever take the dog to the vet?
I didn't.
You
we went
didn't.
to Pet Supermarket, which has a
so
vet
you went
in
to the
there.
pet store. What day do you buy the medicine for the ear?
It was a week later.
Exactly. And then your son's affidavit says a week later we noticed. So there is 7 days between the time of the grooming and this. There's you saying, oh, I had a check problem, don't worry. Here's $50 and I'll give you the other 100 tomorrow. It's not sounding like you at that time believed that there was something they did that caused the ear infection. You're sounding like someone who's financially a mess. And then saying, I'll send it to you tomorrow. Still waiting on your payment. The balance is 112. Why was it? Oh, 12 because of the bounce check fee.
No.
Welcome back to the People's Court. The question, did the defendant prove that the plaintiff injured her dogs? Let's go back into the courtroom and find out.
Obviously, this didn't come up until a week after the grooming, or you wouldn't have sent $100 to the wrong person. You got a counterclaim for $300 against him for vet visit. Oh, you did finally take the dog to the vet?
To Pet Supermarket, yes.
To Pet Supermarket's vet.
It's
okay.
inside this Pet Supermarket.
Okay, yeah, I know. And the vet visit is what date?
I gave you the receipt should be on there.
What do you know? What date?
Not offhand. The receipt's on there. I have paperwork too. But I did send it. I didn't know I was speaking to him. I've been speaking to his employee from day one.
It doesn't matter. Not once do you say you're hassling me for the money when my dog hasn't.
I said it to
well,
his
you don't say it
employee.
here, and that's what would make sense if it was true. Okay? Not I'm sending you the money tomorrow. Check your app. I sent it. Oops, I sent it to the wrong place. You know, that doesn't make sense. I'm ordering you to pay him. I'm done. I'm ordering you to pay him the $112 on your counterclaim 0. There is 0 evidence that it is as a result of the grooming. 0. In fact, your own son's affidavit says, I noticed something a week later. I noticed a cut a week later. Come on.
So the plaintiff is finally going to get his money, all $112 worth. The defendant is on her way out of the courtroom. Ms. Mathis, didn't work out for you. What are you thinking right now?
Because he sent his fake owner, who I never spoke to, never heard, didn't even know he was a owner. I've been speaking to the groomer every single day. So he did not tell his boss or owner that she speaks to me and the baby had an ear infection. I went back out there and cleaned the dog's ears. You didn't even tell your owner that? But you came to my house. I got cameras.
Bottom line, you just didn't have the evidence to prove your case. I'm sorry, you don't get your countersuit.
Well,
and
I'm
you do have
61
to
years
find...
old. I don't do all that texting.
I don't care. You got to pay him $112. Okay. Finally, okay?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's the way it works in court. You're a little upset. You got all dressed up to come to court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my fiance and Jay-Z, I don't play.
Okay.
I sure don't.
Okay. It's over.
Yeah.
Come on. Sorry about that.
Why?
She's not very happy. What do you think of that?
Well, the judge ruled in my favor. I had all the evidence. I had everything in place. I did speak to her on several occasions.
Yeah.
Wanting the money. Not once did she mention anything about any ear infection or any cut or anything like that. She also mentioned that we put drops in the dog's ears. We don't do that. We're not vets.
Yeah.
So,
well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You have prevailed.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All righty. Thank you. All right, Harvey, what are your thoughts?
You know, Doug, sometimes text messages can prove a negative, and that's what really happened here, that there were texts going back and forth, but the defendant never mentioned anything about the plaintiff harming the dogs.
What is the one thing you will never do again?
Well, when you ask me that question, I think of jobs that I've done, right? And not experiences, but it could be either, I suppose. As far as jobs go, I once worked for a summer in a meat packing plant, and I was watching them make bologna there. Right? I had a more menial job than that. That was like advanced, knowing you're actually making the bologna. But they would take these gigantic, like 80-pound blocks of frozen cow lips. That was the only meat in our bologna, were frozen cow lips. and would put them in a chipper, and they would shoot out the other side like those wood chippers you see, right? And then they would throw in big sacks of sodium tripolyphosphate, maybe some dextrose, some nitrates or nitrites.
Have you had
And they
bologna
would
since
mix
then?
it all. I'm getting to that. Okay? They would mix it all up, and it came out in this like flesh-colored slurry that came out of a big fire hose kind of thing into the next step, which was I think they cooked them inside of a casing in an oven. But for about 5 years, I wouldn't eat bologna after that. But I've come back around. I kind of like bologna.
How would
I just
that
don't
job
want
compare
see
to
it.
your job in the wax lip factory?
The wax lip factory was more dangerous because the machine that I was working on there were so many moving parts, and it would jam up with wax, and most of the guys on the machine with me were all missing a finger or two.
Oh, Lord.
Right? So, the safety regs
I guess there's no lifeguard jobs in Buffalo, right?
Well, there are on Lake Erie. But, yeah, I don't miss that job either, but especially the meat packing plant. That I wouldn't do again just because I don't want to watch the bologna made. I want to eat the bologna. I want to eat the sausage. I just don't want to see it.
Right.